Good Saturday evening, everybody. You're watching Full Spectrum Survival here on YouTube. We are doing a live show. This is going to be a show in which we cover a couple of the topics that are happening around our world, and we're also going to cover some live call-ins. We tested this at about 2 a.m. last night when I finally got all the hardware set up and got everything ready. It went really well. A lot of great community participation, so I think this is going to be a good way to really drive people to be able to discuss what's happening in their area, because at the end of the day, we're a family. I want to hear what's going on in your city. I want to know what you're preparing for, what's happening, the challenges that we all face, and then, of course, we get to look at some of the things that are happening out there. So go ahead and join in, and if you see the button, please give this video a hype. Let's get right to some of the things that are happening out there today. This was a large fire. This broke out in Taiwan. The residents of the area were told that they must be extremely cautious of the area. There were no casualties reported at the time, but we're starting to hear that these fires and everything happening with it are not coincidental. There's a process that maybe we are seeing a sabotage event that is taking place out there. This is happening in Argentina. It's happening in the United States of America, most likely. It's happening all over the world. So if you're seeing any warehouse fires or anything like that in your area, please let us know. Let's go ahead and watch some of this video. I'm going to go ahead and mute because... man, this is absolutely crazy. Look at this video. It's like some sort of volcanic event, but it's right there in a building. Now, I don't know what they were housing inside of this facility, but it's going up like crazy. Madness happening over there in Taiwan. Hey, how's it going, Merlin? Country Made Man, how are you? Yeah, things are going good over here. We're just ramping up one of our first live viewer call-in live shows that we're having here on YouTube. So thank you guys for being here with us and for, getting this party started. Let's see what else we've got going on there in the news spectrum.
The Chinese are getting richer, while our children get sicker. And we're putting an end to that between August 1st and August 14th in partnership with the ATF. FDA did purchases at distributors in 5 different states, in Illinois, New Jersey, North Carolina, Arizona, and we did more in California and Florida. With ATF actually went to 14 different retailers. Our agency went to 5 different distributors. And
so what RFK Jr. is doing right now out there in the community is trying to get some of the poison that has been allowed into our supply chain out of it. Better than I deserve, Merlin says. Hey, that's okay. Thank you for everything you do, Made Man. Appreciate you being a part of this community. So this was RFK Jr.'s hit on a vaping supplier, them sending in a whole bunch of chemicals from China. It seems like China really doesn't care what they send here into our community. As long as we smoke it, drink it, take it, whatever the politicians tell us to do. This is the view from a cab as community members come together to help each other. This was, I believe, over there in the UK. They suffered just absolutely massive amounts of flooding. Crazy what's happening all around the world as we suffer through multiple different weather emergencies at one time. And I think Donald Trump said it kind of best recently, that they tried to scam us and tell us that it was global warming. And then some parts of the earth got colder. And then they started to call it climate change, because if you call it climate change and people remember that, hey, my climate wasn't like this last year, then they can't be proved wrong. But at the end of the day, it was just a taxation scheme.
Damn government was shut down for 45 days. Everybody yelling and screaming and hollering. I don't know one blue-collar guy, and I work with about 100 of them every day, that was affected in any way. So who's the government for? Because it sure as hell isn't the blue collar of America. It's not the people who build and feed and house this country.
You know, I read a story about somebody the other day who he said they had kind of the parents and family members come together at a school for children, and they had everyone talking there. Some of them were stock traders, some of them were business entrepreneurs, some of them were, people who were good at networking. And then there was the electrician. And the electrician told the kids, while he never finished high school and he went to trade school, and he maybe doesn't own a multi-million-dollar company, he's the one who everybody calls when the lights go out. And all the kids were really asking all the questions. Well, how do you do this? What do you do if you're in the dark and you have no lights? And how do you fix this? And what about water? And all these things, because for some reason, they have made it so that we completely forget what life is like in their dream dystopia of a world without skilled need. All right, I want to get to some of these viewer call-ins like we were talking about, folks. So go ahead, and we can only take one at a time. It's kind of first come, first serve, and it just pops up here on my phone, and I'm able to, check it and open it up. So let's go ahead and get some call-ins, see what's happening from different parts of our country or wherever you might be watching all across the world. The number is 470-784-1717. We'll port you right into the live show, and we can kind of get some community involvement here inside of this. We can see how you're affected by maybe the shutdown, or how you were affected by the shutdown. Do you have any family members who were maybe having issues with the SNAP benefits program being overhauled? Welfare problems, disability, basically everything the administration is trying to cut the fat on. Do you have any other issues that are going on in your area that you'd like to talk about, or just really what got you as a person into survival and preparedness? So go ahead and pick up your phone, give us a live call in there. We had a couple of good ones last night when we did it at 2 a.m. It was 2 a.m. because I had just taken all that time to get our hardware ready to be able to do it. So, but I appreciate everything that you guys do for me and my family. Like Merlin said, please don't forget to like anybody who has, good community involvement from your area. We want to know what's happening in your part of the country. Okay, let's see what else we've got going on here while we wait.
Not for us. I think maybe the government's just for rich people and people with their hand out. That's who I think the government's for. Because it didn't affect my life one iota, nor any of my coworkers. We just kept going to work. We just kept building them bridges and highways. Yeah. Didn't affect us in the least. Building foundations. Yeah. Didn't even notice. Nobody gave a shit. Not one person.
I think that was probably a big concern that the government had, that when they kind of let it out into the open, that larger government doesn't really have anything to do with the average person's life. Then what do you need them for? And what are you paying your taxes for? All right, we've got our first call in. Let's go ahead and answer it here. You're on the air with Full Spectrum Survival. How are you?
Good. I just wanted to report so people know, because I live about 10 minutes from Broadview. I live very close.
Okay, and for anybody who doesn't know, what state's that in?
Center. It's Illinois.
Okay.
Illinois, so Chicago, Broadview, where the detention center is. It really isn't affected too much right now in Chicago, but I'm just giving an update. But because nobody's walking or taking public transportation,
Okay.
the traffic is terrible in Chicago.
What would you say the emotions or the sentiment of the locals are like? Is it better, or is it fearful, or what?
You know what? It depends. Like, you know what? Unfortunately, what happened in Chicago is the previous administration put most of the immigrants into housing in the African American neighborhoods.
Okay.
So they got bounced out of their HUD housing.
Yeah, I think that happened in a lot of different states too.
Right. So when I think they kept trying to hope that the African Americans would join in the riots like they did during the shutdown, or when we had all those problems in the major cities like during Trump's
COVID
last
times.
term.
Yeah.
But it never happened because they don't want the immigrants here.
I think that there's definitely a
So that's
purposeful
like
reason.
and there's that big push that like a lot of the African Americans now in Chicago, not all of them, but there's a big push is like Turn Illinois Red
Okay.
campaign.
Okay. And
Yeah, it's because they're so sick of like the politics.
yeah, sure,
in
of course.
Chicago.
Do you think have you seen any ICE activity yourself, or is it just mostly what you see on the news?
No, and I live very close. I
Okay.
live in an affluent area, a very affluent area in the western suburbs, but I was born and raised in Chicago.
Okay.
I work in Chicago. So I work in a hospital in Chicago. So
Oh, nice. Well, thanks
commute
for
to
working in a
Chicago
hospital.
every day. Oh, yeah. But so like I don't really see it. The only thing I see is my commute's a lot longer to and from work, and nobody's out in the morning taking the bus, driving their kids to school. Taking their kids to school, walking,
Okay.
or taking public transportation. Everybody's driving because they don't want to get picked up by
Gotcha.
ICE.
Okay. Now, as
So
a
that's the only thing that I've noticed changed. But like even like I'm literally like really really close, like a 10-minute drive, but probably only like really, God, like 5 miles from the detention area, and that's mostly in an industrial area.
okay.
So it's not like a neighborhood. It's like an industrial. It does have some residential areas in Broadview, but it's a very small suburb and it's mostly industrial. So
Okay.
it's industry.
Now,
small
are you
industries and
thankful
stuff
for
like
what
that.
Trump's doing and bringing the National Guard or federalization in, or are you unhappy with it?
You know what? I have mixed emotions. I wish, because I work with a lot of Hispanics, and this really is hard for them.
Okay.
And I think where I work, there's some dreamers, so
Mm-hmm.
they're very nervous. So that I feel really bad about. But I wish that like our politicians, the mayor's not my mayor because I don't live in Chicago.
Okay.
But JB Pritzker, they would have let them go into Cook County Jail and the jails and get rid of the immigrants that have felons, because it's pretty hard to be in with Fox as our what do you call it, our state's attorney.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to get convicted of a felony in Chicago.
No, I've heard that.
It's
yeah.
no cash bonds. So if you're in the jail and you're an immigrant, you did something awful.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So it's time to move
and
on.
you're protecting them. I think that's people, are upset. I'm upset about that for sure.
Sure.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate you calling
but-
in. Thanks for being one of our first call-ins here on the channel.
All right. Well, listen, I watch you guys every day. Thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you. You have a great night tonight.
Okay. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, that's great. We've got some personal views from Chicago, where immigration enforcement has definitely been ramping things up. Go ahead and I'm going to open up the lines again, give another call. I just saw one call came in and then it dropped. It might have been while I had it on Do Not Disturb. Let's pull it in here. You're on the air with Full Spectrum Survival. How are you?
Hey, good brother. How are you doing?
I'm doing real good. How are you on this great Saturday night?
Well, so far so good. I'm in the Northwest Texas Panhandle. I watch you every day, a couple times a day.
Oh, I appreciate you calling in and being part of the Full Spectrum Survival family. What got you into survivalism or preparedness, or just being aware of things?
Man, my grandparents were just preppers because my grandmother went through the Great Depression, so they had chickens in their backyard, 2 buildings, canned their own food, they had storehouses. So I just grew up that way.
You know what's
And
funny?
ever since,
It was the same thing for me. My great grandparents, my great aunt and my grandparents lived through the Great Depression, World War II, and they really instilled in the family how important it is. And I've seen that kind of trend where it was really personalities dropped it down to the next generations to let them know that, hey, you want to be a little bit more prepared than you are today. And I wonder if that's the larger psychological operation of them condemning preparedness, because then if your mom wasn't into survivalism or preparedness or even just awareness, then the children aren't going to be, and it just keeps getting worse.
I don't know. I think that they through social conditioning and everything, man, I think that they've just broken the system, broken the family. Because our kids, they don't talk to us; they're socialists.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know what's happening. I just know it's not going to get any better anytime soon, and people just better be prepared and better be waking up. And it's just hard.
I agree with that. So what are you focusing on for your preparedness right now?
Oh man, it's just me and my wife, and we have a freeze dryer. We have a whole room.
Nice.
We have a bedroom deck with shelves dedicated to just our preparedness, our freeze dried foods, our backup power supplies. I have two 5,000
Sweet.
generators,
Okay.
5,000 watt generators, trailers. I have a truck. I have a van. So
How do you like
we
the
have-
freeze
we
dryer? I don't have one. It's kind of on my longer list of things to get. How do you like the freeze dryer?
man, my wife loves it. How long have we had it? About 3 years now. Yeah, 2.5 years. I bought it from Home Depot, and I got a 24-month no interest on my credit card. So
That's
it was
awesome.
really cheap. And then after 24 months, we own it now. So
Nice.
we have totes full of food that we freeze dried, and then we also have the stuff we've got from my Patriot Supply and those other suppliers.
Oh, sweet. Okay. What would you say your favorite thing that you have made in the freeze dryer and tried again and it was just as good?
We did pico.
I don't know, man. I like pico. I like
Okay.
pico or jalapenos and like pico de gallo.
Nice.
Because, if you go to the store and buy peppers or fresh pico, it lasts 2 days
Yeah, right.
at best. You can freeze dry it and just rehydrate it, and it comes back really well.
Sweet. Okay. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you calling in. Is there anything you want to say to the community before you go?
Just everybody keep your head on a swivel and be prepared for what's coming, because it's coming.
That's right. Yeah, I agree with that. Well, thank you so much. I hope you have a good night and thanks for calling in.
Hey, you too, brother.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Guys, I'm absolutely loving the live call-ins. I think that it's so, usually you just get text back and forth, and we try to get to a lot of comments, but there's no real personalization with comments, right? I mean, it's me commenting back, but it's not anything that's really one-on-one. So the ability for us to get out there and kind of talk to people, I think is important. You're on the air with Full Spectrum Survival. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
I'm doing real good. What has you calling in tonight?
Well, I mentioned the other day that I had just applied for SSI and been approved for it, and they gave me a whopping
$50. I remember.
And I just got a letter today from Adult Public Assistance saying they denied me because I wasn't on supplemental security income when I was.
Oh my gosh.
So they've got this system up here so messed up that it's just beyond belief. I came up here a long time ago, so I was ready for it.
I think the system's about to get worse, honestly. I think that their whole plan is to either deny or wipe off almost everybody who's on any sort of assistance, and then they're going to have very strict and stringent rules about who they let back on. And while that might be necessary because of corruption and fraud that was allowed to take place, I think the way that they're going to do it is not the right way.
No, they're going about it all wrong, and I'm a disabled veteran. I'm over 65 years old, and they are intentionally pushing my buttons. They are intentionally putting obstacles and obstructions in the way of getting any assistance to me, and then when they do, it's meaningless. That's $50 a month is a bag of dog food.
Yeah, if that. I mean, and what can you really do with it? And when you look at the grand scheme of things, $50 per month is literally less than somebody on the street panhandling can make in a couple of days. And
I came up here from a long time ago to Alaska, and I built my house, and I've got a well sunk in, and I've got my radio tower and my generator, and I was getting ready for this a long time ago.
Nice. How do you like Alaska?
I love it.
Are you in which part are you in? Don't give me exact specifics, but are you in some of the more wetter parts, or are you a little bit closer?
I'm in south central Alaska, about 30 miles west of Wasilla.
Nice.
At Big Lake.
Okay, cool. You do any hunting out there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite thing to hunt?
Moose.
Moose? Nice. Okay. Yeah, I've never been up to Alaska. I have some friends and family who are around there, and I've always. Do you know Dick Prenneke? You know who that is?
I know the name.
Okay, so Dick Prenneke was a filmmaker slash homesteader survivalist back in like the 19, I don't know, 50s, 60s, 70s, somewhere around there. And he went up to Alaska with nothing and he built out his homestead. Used to have the supplies shipped in. And it's a pretty good series, documentary on YouTube and other places if you can find it. And what really got me is how cold it gets, how much the ice runs the water. But then you guys still get mosquitoes, don't you?
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? I think that because I'm used to Florida where the mosquitoes are pterodactyls. Alone in the Wilderness. That's right, Neuro and Scott. Alone in the Wilderness is the name of it. But I'm used to Florida where the mosquitoes run like pterodactyls and they'll pick you up and fly you away. And I never would have thought that somewhere so cold because they die off in Florida at winter. But in Alaska, they're just rampant. I mean, he would show video where you were just swarmed with them.
Yeah, it depends on where you're at.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. Well, if I come
I'm
up, I'm
lucky I
coming
live
up to
on a
where there's
hill.
no mosquitoes.
Yeah, I live on a hill, so the wind keeps them down. We haven't had them really bad for the last couple of years at all.
Sweet. Okay, good. What's your big steps you're taking on, I guess, since the Social Security is not going to do any help for you, what are you kind of like trying to do to bridge that gap since the government won't be there to help you?
Well, I built my own house, and I've kept a good pantry for a long time, and I've got my radio gear ready, and I can pump water for my generators with
Nice.
my well. So I'm personally set up really well, and all my neighbors know that I've got the radio tower, and most of them would come here in an emergency anyway.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, they know I'm ex-military, and I know most of my neighbors. We've all been here a long time.
Sweet. And you said you got a deep freezer?
Yeah,
Nice. Okay. That's always good to have. And we've got a stand-up one. Do you keep it inside or outside?
outside.
Yeah, same thing. Outside. And I think stocking the deep freezer is really a big mission of mine. I want to stock it with nothing but the hunts of this year and eat through everything else that we have and kind of like start. And I feel fortunate. I would feel very fortunate if I could have 2 deep freezers full of deer meat. And I'm sure for you, it's the same.
Yeah, that's a good thing to have. We have a lot of fish up here, so a lot of people have a freezer full of fish and a freezer full of moose.
Is your area of Alaska, is it very populated?
Not really. I'm out at the end of the road, at the end of the school bus route, and in the middle of a bunch of lakes. And there's not everything that's around me has already been bought up, so there's not many people moving right around me. But out past me, toward the Susitna River, they're starting to move out that way.
Okay. Would you say that because of the remoteness from mainland USA, are people more willing to help the neighbors out, or is it kind of the same that you would get in the US?
I think it's a lot better here. Well, better, maybe more common for people to help each other, because when you're up here, you know that you're at the mercy of the elements and accidents and situations that can pop up, in the blink of an eye. And
Yeah.
I'm lucky to have a couple close friends that I know I can count on for anything. And people around here, they've known that I've got a big military truck and I pulled people out of ditches and
Oh, nice.
stuff
Okay.
like that. We all try to help each other. I had help when I came up here, or I wouldn't have made it.
We were the same way when we moved down to South Appalachia. We just met really one family, and that one family was the one who we were really like, okay, well, we can, we had no support structure. So when we moved here, we literally had nothing to our name. We were renting a really holes in the walls and holes in the floor trailer, and we were just trying to carve out our little piece for ourselves. So buy a little bit of land, build a little something on it. And if it wasn't for that one family that we had met, I don't think we would have stayed here. We would have had to move back somewhere else.
That's the best thing a person or a man can do, is to buy a piece of land and build a cabin on it. And if you have to, live in a tent.
Yeah, right.
While you're doing it, or in your van or in your car or whatever. But all you need is a few hand tools and a couple power tools, and you can build your own little house, one room at a time.
Yeah, that's actually what we're doing with my brother too. He said as long as we get the insulation in and the wall's up. We're going to handle the rest piece by piece.
Yep. Yeah. A roof. Of course, the roof is the most important thing.
Sure.
But that's what I did to my cabin. I just built one room on at a time, and now I've got a pretty nice house with a big deck looking up over the mountains, and pretty happy with it.
Yeah, carving off your own piece of paradise as much as we can.
Amen.
Well, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate you. Is there anything you want to say to the community before you go?
I just want all the young men to know that they should learn a trade and learn a skill. Once you have a trade and a skill, you can go anywhere on this planet and survive.
Yeah, 1,000%. I agree with that. Thank you so much for calling in from Alaska.
Cheers, brother.
You too. Yeah, really digging these call-ins, guys. Thank you so much for being a part of a great community. If anybody wants to grab a phone and let us know what's happening in your area, we would all love to hear it and see it. We've got another call-in. You're on the air with Full Spectrum Survival. How are you?
Brad, I'm good. Good to hear you, man.
Yeah, good to hear you. Where are you calling in from? Just give me the general area.
I am from Florida.
Florida? Okay, we grew up around the Tampa Bay, Sarasota area.
Yeah, been there, done that. So things are getting crazy out there. I just wanted to call and say I appreciate the show and some of your things you're trying to tell us here. I think we're starting to get the picture here with what's been going on. And, yeah, I mean, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. You know
Yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
right. Yeah, it's almost like the common sense of hope for the best and prepare for the worst became a radical extremist viewpoint. And that's wild to me. That's just common sense. You hope for the best and you prepare for the worst. But they're trying to do away with that mentality around the world for one reason or another. You said you've been there, done that in Tampa and Sarasota. My wife has some friends over in Pinellas Park, which is around the St. Petersburg, Tampa Bay area. And they just got a shelter-in-place warning yesterday because there was a chemical plant explosion that took place, had everybody within a couple mile radius kind of locking down in their house. And that just goes to show you that it might not make national news and it might not affect everybody around the country, but no matter where you're at, something could happen today to affect you.
Wow. Even being in Florida, I hadn't heard that, but oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think she said it was on 49th Street, between 49th Street and somewhere else. I think 58th Street or something like that. So if you give a quick Google search, you'll probably
Right
find it.
off of 19. I know right where that is.
Okay, yeah. So just wild times. What got you into preparedness?
The slow burn, the slow, me witnessing the slow unveiling of what's been going on and kind of keeping my nose to the wind and just paying attention, what's going on around me. Things are changing, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I think the slow burn really sums things up. I remember early 2000s into the 2007 financial crisis, me and my brother were kind of expecting that big calamity. And because if history tells you anything, it's of course that the United States dollar has to die. No empire survives forever, which we're kind of in that failing point of that now. And so what I didn't understand at the time that I'm starting to understand more is that there's two different fights for leveraging positions that are taking place. There's the fight that you and I can fight, and that's try to get a little bit more ahead, maybe get a piece of land, maybe prep a little bit more. That's our fight. And then there's the fight that those at the very top have, and they want to control that slow burn and control that empire failure as much as possible so that they don't suffer any pain during it. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing right now, is because even though our positions are getting harder to come by with cost of living, with access to healthcare, everything out there, their position is still better, and it's always better. I don't think I've seen any of the rich boys and girls complaining that they were having a hard time. So the slow burn really sums things up, that this is kind of the way it's going to be until that big final crescendo takes place.
Yep. It reminds me of the Chinese water drip torture, just
Yeah, a little bit at a
drip,
time.
drip,
Right.
Slowly starting to bug you, and it's just getting worse and worse.
Yeah. Or if I remember right, when we were giving the hardcore interrogation to some of the Middle Easterns, I think they played them Taylor Swift 24 hours a day for 7 days a week. So you take your pick. Either one's going to burn you.
I'll tell you whatever you want to know.
Well, I appreciate you calling in tonight. What's next on your kind of agenda for preparedness?
I'm pretty prepared. So that's a good question.
Okay.
I'm at the point where, I think things are starting to wrap up. I would always like to see who I can help amongst my family outside of taking care of myself, my
Nice.
immediate family, that I can do to try to convince them or lead them down the road to better preparedness for their
Oh, I
own
love that.
well-being.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know,
Things that,
I had
Yeah.
talked recently about helping family out, and there were there were an unfortunate number of commenters that were like, screw them. If they haven't figured it out by now, they're just a liability. And I think that those people have probably suffered some traumatic family experiences at some point, and maybe they are feeling justified in that. But we really do have to pull together, at least keep nudging people in the right direction, if nothing else.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's not over. It's not over till it's too late. You can always try to help.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I appreciate you calling in. Thanks so much for being a part of the live show here.
All right. Thanks.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
Yeah, you have a good night too. All right, guys, we have the live show call in back open. If you want to give it a call, it's 470-784-1717. Speedy says, I love that Brad Doom scrolls for me daily so I can get abridged versions of what's going on. Yeah, that's our mission statement there. I'll take the responsibility and the burden. And then a great part of these live shows or your call-ins is maybe you can point me and say, hey, I haven't seen any discussion of this. What's going on here? Like somebody talked about the Mexico protests, which we have lined up for tomorrow's videos. Mexico's kind of a narco state, right? Where the government is more controlled. We've got another call in here. You're on the air with Full Spectrum Survival. How are you?
Pretty good, man. How are you?
Now, I'm doing real good. Where are you calling in from? Just about.
Georgia.
Georgia? Nice. Okay. Were you ready for that cold snap that came in last week?
No, I'm from Michigan, so
it was nothing.
It was pretty all right for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It was a welcome change for me.
Yeah, my brother was up here during that time, and from Tampa, Florida, he was cold to the bone.
Yeah, I bet. I'm calling in because I'm trying to figure out whatever happened with the TI Atlas, the meteorite that was coming down. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Because they were covering it for weeks, and then all of a sudden we get nothing. When it supposedly came around.
Yeah, I've seen two different reports on that in the last 48 hours, and they were very opposite ends of the spectrum reports. One of them said, hey, we're noticing some breakup. This is just normal. It happens when it's around the sun. And the other report said that there was unusual radio waves coming off of it and unusual signs of chemical progression off of it. So I'm kind of waiting to see what the next release of information is. And one thing that Atlas really showed me is that, one, we won't know what's really going to happen until either they feel like they should tell us what's going to happen, or we get broadside smacked by an asteroid, or two,
or it's just something too big.
Yeah, or is it really something they don't want everyone to know about? So I'm not too happy with the amount of misinformation that was out there. I, as a person, my own personal judgment of things is just that there's no way that, whether faith-based or just looking at the world, we're the only aquarium out here. There's probably a lot more aquariums out there. And so I think it's only a matter of time.
Probably, yeah.
What's that?
Statistically, for sure, I think.
Yeah, I would have to say that even if it's very, we have a lot of faith-based people out there, I would hasten to say that I won't say that a creator wouldn't have created lots of little pet shops. And
for sure,
it's only a matter of time till we see it. And I don't think that it's in the best interest of the government to really tell us everything. So for one reason or another.
Sure. Yeah, the Drake equation, I mean, it talks about how, yeah, at minimum, there's like millions and millions of different species. I think, if I remember that correctly. So I think we absolutely are probably not alone, but it's just odd how they've been handling that information. So.
Yeah, so it's definitely on our radar. I'm just hoping to get some more information in the next couple of days. You know, there were a couple of very prominent researchers that were on both sides. One of them was like, oh, it's nothing. And then the other one was saying there's definitely something more to this, even if it's just bits that we don't understand yet. But there's definitely more to it. So as soon as I hear anything, if it's you know, important for us, I'll throw it out there.
Cool. Well, Brad, I watch and listen to you every single day. I'm military, so
appreciate you.
I know a lot of guys that are, not a lot of guys that are your fans. I would just say maybe harp a little more on like fitness, because I see a lot of out of shape people. I think fitness is a huge part of survival, and I try to do as much as I can. Go on, you know, zone 2 runs,
Nice.
you know, the really easy runs to work up your aerobic, you know, heart rate. Anaerobic kind of sucks. That's more like the hill sprints, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But everybody can do more, I think, in terms of just bringing their aerobic fitness up and their strength training, because, you know, if things get bad, I think you're going to have a lot of out of shape people that have all the tools, but, you know, won't have the, you know, endurance to use them.
No, I think that's absolutely right. What would you say, you know, because our population is not the most physically fit out there, in my opinion, like you said, some quick runs, jumping jacks, carrying your bag on some rocks. I think those are all important tools, important steps that basically everybody can take, no matter their fitness.
Absolutely.
Right now. What would you say maybe are some other ones?
I mean, for me, I would just say doing time-based runs instead of distance-based runs.
Okay.
And I would say that you should do that. I don't know, if you want to start small, you don't want to overload your body and then, you know, discourage yourself by like having a really hard week and then it's like, oh man, I can't follow this, you know, for eternity. Just start with like 2 runs a week.
Okay.
Start at 20 minutes. Rule of thumb, you know, run at a conversation pace. So if you can find a buddy to run with you and just have a conversation while you're running, 1, it's going to go by a lot quicker. And then 2, you'll realize how easy it is. And then start progressing. So like next week, 25 minutes, next week, 30 minutes, and then basically base build your aerobic fitness up to about 70 to 80 minutes. And then all of a sudden when, you know, at the end of that 8 weeks, you're like, wow, I can run, you know, indefinitely at a 9-minute pace. So that's just one of the things that you can do. I think like a zone 2 progression plan is something that's very, very, very doable for a lot of people. If it's not running, walking,
Okay.
you know, try to get in as many steps as you can. So yeah.
For anybody who doesn't know, could you explain zone 2 to them?
So zone 2 running is basically where you try to keep your heart rate under 150 beats per minute, I believe. So your aerobic system is your long duration energy system. So how long you can consistently output energy. And then your anaerobic system is how long you can put out extreme amounts of energy. So I think the most important thing for a lot of people would be their aerobic system. I mean, even like special ops, they don't necessarily output a lot of energy over a long period of time. It's how well their aerobic system is built, and that's why they're so effective.
Right,
and I think
right.
a lot of people can implement that to their lives.
And I think people need to know too, your peak heart rate is 220 minus your age, unless you have some other health detriment. So whatever your age is, just take 220 beats per minute and then minus your age from that. And that's peak. That's absolute maximum. You probably shouldn't go over that if you're not in just peak health. But getting up to that 65 to 80% range is really good for you on a multi times a week basis.
Yep, I agree with that. But Brad, keep doing your thing, man. Like I said, I watch you every single day.
Yeah, appreciate you
twice
being
a day
here.
if I have the time. So you and Kelly keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thank
God
you, and
bless.
thanks for your service.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Oh, no, you can feed him. We've got a monitor lizard behind us that Kelly she said, do you mind if I feed him? No, I don't mind at all. Go ahead and give him the food. Well, guys, thank you so much. What are your thoughts down in the chat about fitness being a part of survivalism? We've got another call coming in here. Hey, how are you? This is Brad with Full Spectrum Survival. You're on the air. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, Brad, how you doing?
I'm doing real good. What part of the country are you calling in from?
I'm calling from Port St. Lucie, Florida.
Oh, Florida. Okay, nice. Yeah, we grew up in Florida. Not so close to Port St. Lucie, but, within the general area.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm very happy with DeSantis and his moves.
I really hope that, here's my thing. I really think that they should abolish property taxes. If Florida abolishes property taxes, I am all for that. And if they can get other states to get onto this, but I'm always asking the question, why now? So why right now is this important to them? And I think it comes down to the fact that 60+% of homes were bought by investment agencies, and they don't want to pay the property taxes. So I'm okay with the end result. So as long as you and I don't have to pay property taxes, I'm happy with it, but I know it's not out of the goodness of their heart.
Right. That makes sense. And I want to tell you, I really enjoy Kelly and your show that you've been doing, and I just joined that. I didn't know about it until recently when you spoke about it on your show.
Oh,
so,
nice. Okay.
Keep up the good work, and I really enjoy seeing you on the farm and working the chickens and the worms and everything you discuss. It's really educational, and
thanks.
You're, like you say, you're on the front line and you're doing all the work for us. So we just have to watch you and learn and, educate ourselves.
Yeah. And try to do all the best that we all can, because that's really all we can do, right?
That's all we can do and pray.
What would you say is your goal for the end of 2025 or into 2026 for your own personal preparedness?
To keep stacking medals.
Nice. Okay, I've got some medals right here in front of me. I agree with that. For me, it's silver because I'm not a rich man. So silver is.
I'm a silver. I love silver. I've been collecting silver since 1996 and gold.
Nice. Okay, yeah, that's awesome. What are your feelings on copper? Because I think copper is going to be coming up soon.
It's funny you say that. I just bought a 100-pound bar of copper.
That's awesome.
And I actually engraved it with my partner and I's anniversary date.
That's great. That's awesome. How does it tarnish, or did you let it kind of blew up already?
They put it into a sealed bag, like a vacuum seal.
Okay, so it won't tarnish.
And it's starting to get it's getting a little green, but not bad.
Okay, that's awesome. How much, for anybody who's watching who might want to stack a little bit of copper, how much did you pay for that 100-pound bar?
$350.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And it's something, copper, guys, is something that you can use for lots of other things. Imagine if you had to make a tool out of copper, you have it. If you had to use anything for your own reloading, you've got it. You have those tools there. So I think that's a great stack, because I would hate to put silver on the end of a projectile tool, because I think that's a waste of money.
And I really believe in having 6 to 8 months of food, long-term storage, 25-year buckets.
Yeah, those are good. That's awesome. Do you do any of your own Mylar, or you try to just get it already made?
I do that just with rice.
Smart.
So I listen to what you say about, picking up your Sam's Club or Costco bags of rice and putting away bags of rice in Mylar or Ziploc, and vacuum sealing them. Nice. And I've been doing that for about 3 years now.
That's awesome. Yeah, for us, it's all those staples. We do the rice, flour, sugar, oats. Oats is getting more expensive to find good, clean oats. So we're going to try to go through some restaurant supply agencies, because they're making it really pricey. But oats are a big part for me, because they remove cholesterol while you're eating them, as long as you don't add too much cholesterol back into it.
Well, to be honest with you, about 10 years or so ago, I was in Tennessee, or took a trip to Tennessee from North Carolina.
Okay.
And I went to this group. I don't remember what it was called, but it was an organization where you go and every other person goes that wants to go, and you can all your foods in vacuum seal packages. And I don't know what the can size was, but number 10 or number 16 cans. And they put them in cases, and then you buy the cases.
I love that.
And I did that, and did a small U-Haul filled with food that I've stored and kept stored at house temperatures for years.
That's awesome. That's a great way for people to be able to get involved in the community and get ahead.
And what was funny, about 6 months after I was there, I heard the FBI or someone came in and demanded all their financial records to see who the purchasers were.
Yeah, I think I remember this. What was that, about 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that happening, and that's wild. But I don't I think that they're trying to dig much deeper now. The FBI, everybody, I think they're digging much deeper now.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate you, and I hope that you guys take care. And I'm glad we're almost out of hurricane season for you.
Yeah. Amen. Amen to that. And please give my regards to Kelly.
I sure will. Yeah, she stepped out of the room. When she comes back in, I'll tell her.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you, Faith, so much for the super chat. Appreciate you there. Guys, we're going to go ahead and open the lines back up. See if we can get another call in here. You're on the air with Full Spectrum Survival. How are you?
Hey, Brad. I've watched you for a long time, man. It's pretty cool to get to talk to you. It's the first live I've ever caught.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
From-
This is the first full day that we're doing call-ins with the lives, and I think it's a great way to really get out there and hear each other's voices. You guys just have to deal with my voice every day, and I don't get to hear the return.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm calling from Central Kentucky.
Nice. Okay. Kentucky, you still have cheap land out there, right?
Not so cheap anymore.
Not so cheap. Okay. Have you
The
seen?
past couple of years, it's skyrocketed.
Really? What do you think the cause is? Is
Yes.
people moving just out from cities, or are there people moving out from specific areas?
From the cities. So, I'm outside of Lexington, Kentucky, and we have seen a massive outflow from Lexington into surrounding counties.
Okay.
And and there's a lot of professional jobs, a lot of high-paying jobs, and these people come into, lower class, lower middle class areas, and they're paying insane prices per acreage out here.
Yeah, that's
And it's
wild.
it's pricing the larger market in the surrounding area out to where people can't afford to purchase any land.
That's frustrating to me because land is one of those things that you really should have access to as a hardworking American citizen. And I think
sir.
that, we do have so much land on this country that they literally could make available for purchase an acre, a couple acres for every hardworking American citizen. And I think it's a real disservice that we don't have that kind of nationalist approach to making sure that everybody is secure.
Yes, sir. I agree with you 100%. It's things have changed so much over the past 4 or 5 years. It's unreal. I mean, I don't even send my kids in my area. I don't even send them to public school. I send them to a private Bible academy that's K through 12.
Nice.
Because I don't agree with a lot of things that are going on in our public school systems here, and it's not, it doesn't conform with the way that I was raised, and just the financial burden of everything being so expensive. I've got a family of 6, and I go to the grocery store probably once a week.
Yeah.
And spend $400.
I know it's absolutely crazy. It's almost to the point where if you're not a full-time hunter and fisher and putting that meat on the table, it's ridiculous to be able to purchase it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 100%. We try to harvest deer, and we buy from a local farm. We try to buy half a beef here and there.
Nice.
And I mean, we tear through it, and that does help. But I mean, as far as going to the grocery store and depending on that 100%,
Yeah.
I really don't know how people are doing it. And the price of property, the price of housing, the price of rent. I guess I would be maybe in the lower middle income, and I have a lot of family and friends
Yeah.
that don't make that much money, and I mean they're struggling. I mean, I feel like something's got to give. I mean,
Yeah,
wages are going to have to increase.
Yeah, I think we have a little bit
or-
more. I think they're going to push until there's real hardship for people. And right now, because the top 10% are able to pick up the slack of the lower 90% missing their purchases or services or new expensive cars, I think that it's going to take another 5% of those people not being able to make those purchases for them to really make something change. But then we have, the credit score change for mortgages, which is crazy. They're making mortgages more available
Yes, sir.
to people with less good credit. And that's an exact same repeat of 2007.
Yes, sir. And talk of 50-year mortgage is just absolutely insane.
That still is like a fever dream to me. The fact that they are pitching a 50-year mortgage when the average home buyer is 59 years old. You and I are not the youngest of men. We have families and children, and I probably won't be 110 years old at any point in time.
No, sir, I don't believe I will either.
So I don't even know.
I mean, there's a lot in the workforce. So I work in power generation industry.
Nice.
So I work in basically a power plant.
Okay.
And we have just the draw on power, the increase in demand. We have ran, I think in July of this year, we had already ran as much and produced as much megawatts as we had for the entire year last year. So the increase in electric demand is insane. And then when we try to hire more people for the increase in demand, the workload, we used to have, 3 or 4 years ago, we would post a job and have 50 candidates apply, maybe 20 of them qualified.
Yeah.
So now we might have 10 candidates apply, none of them qualified, and we just can't get skilled labor.
Yeah, that is wild to me. Do you have data centers that your electricity is going towards, or is it just more demand by people?
So we work in the PJM RTO, which is 13 states in the northeastern.
Okay. So there's definitely some data centers pulling.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Okay.
and then we have more, I think, in northern Kentucky, Ohio River area. I think they're getting ready to have a major data center built, which they haven't released the name of the company yet.
Yeah, Atlanta, Georgia too.
It's
They're pulling the
under
big ones.
some kind of, yeah, it's under an NDA. They haven't released who's going to be building this data center, but it's going to be an extreme increase in demand, and your electric bills are going up in this area tremendously right now because they're already budgeting to build these.
That's one thing that really, and it really proves to me that the American people, or maybe it's people all over the world, maybe it's not just Americans, but you can literally rob them and they'll do nothing. Because I remember when the pitch used to be that LED lights would make our power bills go down, our power bills went up. And then I remember the pitch was all these windmills and solar farms that they're putting up on government grants would make our power bills go down. And then the power bills went up. Yeah. And now they're promising AI will make it go down. I know.
Yeah.
So I think that
I don't know if anybody's ever watched Landman before, but
yeah, exactly.
I mean, what he says is real.
Yeah, that's right.
Legit. I'm in the power industry. It's the biggest scam ever.
Yeah, they're private corporations run in cooperation with the government, and they're here for your money.
Yes, sir.
But we need them because, trust me, I like having the AC on and the lights on. So I'm not knocking that, but it's a problem.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Yep. I won't take any more of your time. I appreciate you taking my call, and I'll continue watching your channel.
Thanks, and don't hesitate to call in next time we open up.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
You too. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for the super chat. Says, hi, I used to follow channels, so when I found your channel, I was skeptical, but your channel has taught me a lot. I appreciate you and Kelly. Well, thank you for that. That's awesome. I mean, I say I do the doom scrolling so you guys don't have to, but the reality is we do know a lot of bad is happening out there. And I just want to not focus on that, but instead just understand that it's there and try to get ready for it. You're on the air with Full Spectrum Survival. How are you?
Brad, what's up, bro? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Where are you calling in from? Just give me the general.
Florida, Central Florida, man.
Central Florida.
So,
okay, yeah. Right in our growing up area, we were Sarasota, Tampa.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I had a property out in Sarasota.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Man, hey, congrats. I like this. This is a good idea. I like this, man. I'm back when you were doing videos in front of the churches and parking lots.
Oh, yeah.
This
okay.
is cool. I like this.
Yeah, I like being able to get out. I like being able to hear your guys' voice. That's important to me because otherwise I'm just talking to the camera and it doesn't have a great personality.
Yeah. Wow, this is cool. I really like this. You're doing well. Congrats.
Thank you so
man,
much.
Yeah, listen, I'm running out of room, man. I'm thinking I'm jealous of you and the wife. And Kentucky just called you. I'm thinking about buying property up in Kentucky because I have a 3-bedroom down here and I have 2 bedrooms full of food.
Okay. Yeah, you need a little more room, expansion.
You, bro. I think you did this, bro. You did this.
Yeah, probably. I'll take some responsibility for that.
Yeah.
A little bit of expansion. Okay, I would say look at Kentucky, Georgia, Alabama. Those are probably 3 areas that it won't be too much of a climate shock, and the price of land, you can, if you get out in the rural areas, you can still get it pretty cheap.
Yeah, I like your little tiny houses. I watched your videos on how you did that.
Thanks.
I'm just, I'm getting nervous about Florida, how the coast, how they're saying we have sunny day floods, and it's crazy. So I'm really thinking about, I can appreciate what you said, but I was helped with some AI. I'm thinking Arkansas.
Okay.
And I know you like Alabama, but possibly Missouri. But I'm talking about all the disasters to be prepared for. The fault lines, hurricanes, tornadoes, all that stuff. But
Arkansas is a good place. I had an aunt who lived out there, and she did an off-grid homesteading thing back in the 80s and 90s. Really carved out a beautiful piece of life there in that area. And I have a friend who his business moved him to Arkansas. And other than that, he wasn't prepared for the culture shock and everyone telling him to slow down on talking. Other than that, he really likes it.
Now, you're from Alabama, or you're down even lower? Because I know you have 2 properties, right?
Yeah, no, just 1 property, but we were born and raised in Florida. Only moved out here after I got hit by a car while I was riding a bicycle, and it broke 5 of my ribs into my liver, gave me a traumatic brain injury, broke my face right here. It really screwed me up, and I was laying in the ICU, and I was like, wow, if I died today, my kids would have nothing, my wife would have nothing. So we packed up a Ryder truck with everything that we had, got into a really junky trailer that had holes in the bottom, holes in the walls, and I only had to pay $200 a month. So I was like, okay, we can carve out a new place for ourselves here. And we found a nice little bit of land in North Alabama.
I know, I'm jealous, man. Congratulations on that, because we want to do that too. We're a little bit older than you guys.
Okay.
But getting a property, we really need to do the same thing. We're getting older. My wife's about to retire.
Nice.
And we just need to sell this and get up there. And even the water down here. I don't want to say too much online, but have you heard of shore water tanks?
Yeah.
Oh, I have like 5 of those in my house.
Nice. Okay.
And
Yeah.
in the garage, it's like 500 gallons of water per thing. So, so anyway.
I won't envy your moving of those.
Well, you know what? I gotta empty them. So, our garden, everything, we're gonna have to empty them. But I won't sell the house. But I will. I'll keep it for the grandbabies, perhaps. But I definitely want to. I'm jealous of you. I'm proud of you guys. It's just good to see people that are doing well. And I like that. When you and your wife saw their channel, that you share your property.
Yeah, Off-Grid with Brad and Kelly.
Yeah, your little kitty that was lost, and you found it, and it was sick. Hopefully everything's well. But
yeah, she's back to good.
We need to get good. I said, honey, we need to get a property like that. We need to get those little tiny home, put them together. Oh, good job. Good stuff, man. I just want to say hi and
thanks so much. And my brother, he's in his going into his late 50s. He's moving up here doing the same thing. So you're not alone out there.
I know you said that on one of your videos that you might try to get your brother, because where he's at, everything's just crazy, and your brother's going to maybe join you on your property, no?
So about 20 years ago, he bought a piece of property in a complete coincidence. He bought a piece of property that's about 20 minutes away from where I ended up finding our property. And we had no idea, because at that time we didn't have like a close communication. It was his business dealings. He bought that property and it just sat there. And they lost their house to a tornado in the hurricane 2 or 3 years ago. Lost everything. He had to swim through what used to be his driveway just to grab soaking wet clothes and everything after the tornado completely tore the house down. And they've been kind of they let the earth make the decision for them. And they were like, okay, let's move up to the property they built up here or bought up here. So we're helping them build a house up here.
Oh man, you know what? And prayers for you guys too, because definitely I believe in God. But let me ask one last question.
Sure.
What did you have a specific reason besides your situation being in the accident? What drove you to Alabama out of other states?
So we wanted Colorado first, and I'm glad we didn't. But at first we wanted Colorado because my uncle had lived up there in a very rural part, and we could find cheap land there. But the cost to dig a well was like $30,000 to $50,000, which was way out of our even realm of possibilities. And
right.
What came in second was Texas. Same thing, very rural. You could find cheap land, but your access to water and the grid was very low. Then came up third was Alabama. And we said, okay, well, that looks like the best choice right now. Even if we built it out and then moved on to a dream state or dream area somewhere, then everything just kind of fell into place. And I hope to get to 65 years old on this earth. And when I do in Alabama, you don't have to pay any property tax. And so that's another one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's completely.
Well, there is no hope. There is no hope. There is no hope. You will. Period. Yeah. Positive believing, synchronicity,
that's right,
laws of attraction, and God, brother.
Yeah, that's
and down
my
here
push.
In Florida, we believe in German shepherds and Second Amendment.
That's right.
Keep it strong, brother.
Thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate you. You guys, you get to the piece of property that's right for you.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Good. Have a good night. Where's the beard? The beard got lopsided. Here's the deal too. I tried to just trim the beard, okay? And this is why my beard goes in cycles of no beard and then huge beard, because I tried to trim it and I ended up looking like a homeless man. And that was not the look that I was going for. And so I decided, well, it's just time to, I guess, start over. And this is the start over. Congratulations, Ernie. That's great. All right, go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and open up the line. We probably got time for another call here. Yeah, property taxes being cheap here is the dream. And if you homestead your land, they're cheap nonetheless. You're on the air with Full Spectrum Survival. How are you?
Hey, Brad, how you doing? This is Dr. Jesse and my husband, Paul.
Hey,
so
hey,
good to
fam,
get you on
how
the
are
phone.
you? Oh, yeah, we're glad to have you
I'm
both
great.
here.
Oh, yes, us too. We've been calling in. Excited to talk to you. Love your show.
Thank you so much.
And I'm going to let my husband, Paul, is here from the UK.
Nice.
Hello, how are you? How do you?
I'm good, Paul. How are you? How do you like it? Are you guys in the States or are you in the UK?
Yeah, we're in the States in Florida.
Florida.
Nice, okay.
This is without doubt the greatest nation in the world.
Well, I'm glad that you made a move.
No idea how good you guys have it here with the First Amendment and the Second Amendment and your Constitution.
Yeah, that's
because coming from a country where everything has gone down the drain to basically, China communism, Pol Pot level.
Yeah.
You understand how grateful I am to be here. And I thank all American citizens for the honor, the privilege, and the pleasure of being here.
Well, we're glad you're here.
I thank them, too, for finding the best husband.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're glad you're here with us. And it is important. Could you tell me a little bit, how long did you live in the UK? And did you kind of watch the downfall, or was it just there?
Yeah, so I was born at the end of the 70s, and
Okay.
I was in the UK until 2023, 24. And we watched the downfall start in 1997 when Tony Blair came to power and
Okay.
decided that they would import the third world to rub the right's nose in it.
Yeah.
And you just watched everything pander to them and be held against you, basically.
You
can't have happy Christmas. It has to be happy holidays because
Right,
you'll offend them.
Yeah, and the no videotaping the immigrants is really crazy, and the cultural push. See, I'm all for cultural acceptance. You do you however you want to do it, but as soon as you make it so that I have to do you too, I'm not okay with it.
Yeah, exactly. When it starts impeding on your life,
Right.
and your freedoms and your rights and your beliefs, since when did their rights and beliefs trump yours?
Yeah, supersede yours.
In
That's
your
right.
country.
Yeah, exactly.
And why is it they want to basically make your country like the country that they claim they're fleeing if it's so bad?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, why bring that and start that over here just to get a fresh start?
And they do bring all their problems. The Afghans hate the Iranians, who hate the Somalians, but the minute it comes to uniting against you, they're united like brothers.
Yeah.
Islam does not know any borders.
Right. They're all in on it. Now,
yeah.
would you say
my
that?
only advice I can give to your listeners, given what's coming in the future with the future wars and who's going to use certain religions to drive those wars to begin with, is you will want to be building bunkers.
Okay.
You will want to be building fallout shelters, and you can build one pretty cheap.
I agree. Yeah, I think that's a good mission for everybody. Would you say that what you've seen in America in the last year, definitely not in Florida, but in other parts of America, would you say that that kind of mirrors the early start to the downfall of the UK?
Yes, if I can answer that, I'm originally from East New York, Brooklyn. I'm a New Yorker.
Okay, nice.
So yeah, we're seeing it already. Definitely, absolutely. Everything's coming into the towns. Things are changing at a very, very rapid, scary pace too. And people don't really notice it. And you try to tell them, well, you know how that goes. But yeah, I just wanted to chime in there.
Yeah,
I do door to door in Florida. So
Okay.
I meet lots of homeowners who are all armed, no problems, there's no crime, there's no issues. But I have a lot of interesting conversations from energy problems in the UK with net zero and it pricing us out of having electricity.
Isn't that crazy?
To the parallels that are coming here.
Okay.
So
That's
you've
good.
got AI coming here with the power bills that we're paying for. You've got BlackRock buying up power stations. That's only going to increase our bills.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thankfully, the net zero thing seems to have been sort of kiboshed when Bill Gates came out and said we can't change the climate. But the UK is still pressing ahead. With
And
the whole
Canada
net zero.
too. Yeah, Canada is also.
Yeah.
Now,
it's all controlled for carbon scores for your CBDC and your digital ID.
is it frustrating
now-
for you to have seen all of that happen and know that it's coming unless it corrects course here?
Yes, that's why I have so many interesting conversations with homeowners.
Okay.
And waking people up to these problems and showing them. I can jump on Twitter and show them in 2 seconds.
Yeah, just
And
what
they're
it's like.
Wow.
Okay.
And my advice to every American is, whether you own a gun or not is none of my business. But my advice is, if you don't own a gun, buy a gun. And if you do own a gun, buy more bullets, beans, and water.
Yeah, and I would also add on to that and say become personally involved in making sure that those laws don't change.
That's right. Absolutely.
Because
100%. It took me about 2 years, close to 3, to get a carry license in New York.
Oh, yeah.
Florida, it was different.
Yeah.
But man, and now you can't even get. Well, I think you can get a shotgun, but you can get a rifle. Same thing's happening.
Yeah, and you
So
have to
it's
prove that it's only going to be
insane.
used in protection of business and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Oh, it's like forensic interrogative questioning.
Yeah.
But and I understand that you have to be vetted, you have to be background checked. I understand that, but New York definitely went over the edge. So it was quite refreshing to be able to be in Florida and to do what I used to do, because we used to work under the FBI as well.
Okay.
So it's interesting stuff. So also I'm a clinical psychologist, and just
Nice.
This is not about prepping, but it kind of sort of is. The changes that I've heard and seen in people's personalities since the you-know-what in 2020 rather, has been absolutely off the charts, off the DSM-5. There's going to be a whole new book written about it, like the C effect. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. I was just watching a psychologist give and you tell me if you align with this. He was giving a presentation on how the amount of absolutely laser focused hatred for Trump and for the righter side of politics has really blew his mind. He said he's right in the middle. He doesn't really care what you are, but what he's seen is a very laser focused, almost like a delusional hate that takes over any other pain in that person's life.
Yes, I have to completely agree with you. It's almost as if, well, yes, it is. Their facial expression will change. And it's almost like, I'm just going to say it, demonic possession. That sounds over the top. It sounds extreme. but it's what I see.
Yeah.
It's what I hear. It's the hatred is crazy. And if I could just share, when I was in the UK handling a client,
Sure.
I had a gentleman call in. He was, I forgot his age. His words were, my daughter got the
Okay.
thing,
Yep.
arm ticket last week and passed away. I said, oh my God, that's terrible. I'm so sorry. His next sentence was, but at least I didn't get COVID.
Oh my gosh.
I kid you not.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of
Brainwashing.
let's say psychosis we're dealing with. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Brainwashing, and the source of that is it's Tell Live Vision TV
Right. Yeah.
programs you. If
It's
people
so
turn
funny.
that off and on in such a beta recipient state that you see an old person when they put them in a nursing home and shove them in front of the TV all day,
Right.
they
Right.
waste away. People become easy to program. They have no idea why they're saying these things or how to back it up with any evidence.
Yeah.
And they don't have any, which is why when you try and debate a lefty libtard, they just jump topic to topic to topic because they'll lose it as soon as they enter the debate.
Right.
Yeah. It's hard. It's very
And
hard
then
for
they'll try
people
and
to
demonize
engage.
you with.
It is.
And they'll try to demonize you with, racist, xenophobe, bigot, fascist, everything to try and silence you.
Yeah.
And
They can't
that's
win
the
the
thing.
fight.
What would you say from a psychological point of view if someone is trying to not push their views on somebody else, but educate them, and you know that they're going to be hit with that kind of demonizing, idea shifting mentality? How could they softly just let them know that I'm just trying to give you a heads up without, making them feel cornered or attacked?
Well, one thing I would tell a client to say is, God be with you and
Okay.
God bless you. And just, very calmly say, I understand. I'm going to agree to disagree. And then if you can, leave the premises or end the conversation, because otherwise the other person get really hurt,
Yeah,
because
right.
people can get really angry into a rage almost. I mean, it's rageful. Yeah.
I do with that differently. I
Yeah,
tend
he does.
I tend to just call them out and go, yeah, it's not going to work. Those are medals to me, calling me a racist, a fascist, a bigot. I've had them for 10 years. It's not going to silence me.
Yeah, right.
And you're only doing it to try and silence me because you'll lose the debate. And that's it. It's game over at that point.
I think you really,
Yeah, don't throw a temper tantrum.
I think you touched on something there, because I have noticed when trying to just engage in conversation with people that when you, even when they're not losing ground, but you see that you're just talking to a wall and it's not really going to do you any good anymore to talk, and you start to disengage, they get angrier. It's almost like a rat trying to climb up a glass cage. They just get angrier and angrier. And like you said, that could end in pain for somebody.
Yes. And some I've seen dissociate from it. So it's almost like their eyes will go kind of wide and they're kind of getting themselves away from it. That's like a thing that happens. They just kind of fade out of it.
Yeah.
But that's the ones that, in my opinion, that are severely affected in some sort of psychosis.
Whereas if they get violent, a good left hook is like tapping the VCR in the old days when the tracking was off. Giving a technical whack and knocking some segments.
Well, of
They
course.
start it, you finish it.
Yeah, of course, we're not going to suggest engaging in violence, but definitely defend yourself
No,
out there.
Yeah, there's a difference between engaging in violence and defending yourself.
Exactly, right,
One is
yeah.
criminal and one isn't.
We love what you've done with your prepper house there, and we are going to also buy land, probably in New Mexico.
Oh, New
and
Mexico's
start our own
great.
little thing. Yeah. It's still good prices down there. Things people are catching on. It's going up, but it's still very good compared to Florida. Just land prices. There's no comparison.
Let me tell you, during COVID, I had sick family down in Florida, and I went and bought a trailer right when COVID started. I said, okay, if I'm going to need to be there to help you, then I'm going to have to actually be there. So we bought a trailer, just a normal trailer in a trailer park for $30,000, and it was a fixer-upper, but it was in a nice populated area. But I said, okay, we'll get in there and we'll fix it up. The prices went up so much that within the 2-year period that we were leaving that area, I of course didn't sell it for this. I sold it to somebody I knew, but the houses that were similar in the trailer park were selling for $75,000, which is crazy.
Yep.
Just 100+% increase in a 2-year period. And that's where Florida really has gone wrong, I think.
Yeah.
And what does it cost to buy land? 2 acres is like $2,500 in New Mexico.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can build a cabin like an 8x12 out of 4-inch posts and plywood for about $1,500.
Yeah,
chuck
that's
a
great.
$3,000 solar system on it,
Yeah.
water storage, and a septic tank, and grow your own food.
Yeah.
You're pretty much resilient to everything that life can throw at you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you
So
guys
we're
so
going to do our
much.
very, very best. Oh, thank you. It was great talking to you. God bless.
Yeah,
Take
you
care.
too. Yeah,
Love
thank
Kelly
you
too.
guys.
Okay, take care now.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye now.
Guys, I'm really loving these calls. Let's take one more before we wrap the night up. So if you're next to a phone, go ahead and give me a call. The number is 470-784-1717. Yeah. Oh, I already got one. You're on the air with Full Spectrum. How are you?
Hey, thank you. It's Jay calling from Canada. How's it going?
I'm doing good.
taking my call.
Glad to talk to you over there in Canada. We've got some friends and family that just moved up to Canada to be with family. So how are you up there?
I'm doing pretty good. It's a really interesting country that we're living in right now. Canada and everybody out, but it seems like everything's being picked up. Everything's picking up right now on a I would say exponential basis right now.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if it's going forward. Yeah, go ahead.
The speed of the downfall has definitely picked up. The ball's picking up a little speed down the hill.
Yeah, most definitely. And I just find that a lot of people are still kind of clueless to what's going on, as you were with your last caller, and it's kind of disturbing right now, because if more people are clued in what's going on, I don't think we might not have the chaos that is to occur when only maybe one or less than 10% of the people know what's going on and do something about it, right? So it's all the people who have been prepping is like, well, we got to deal with this crap. It's almost like a zombie thing that we got to deal with, right? So
yeah. Now have you followed that certain area of Canada that took away the homes of the homeowners and called that I guess it was native land, and they gave that property away?
Yeah, okay, you brought that up. I was talking to my friends about that.
Okay. Yeah, tell me more.
Sure, sir. What's happening is really there's no treaties in BC, and what's happening is I think one of the nations, native people said, this is our land right now, and it went through the Supreme Court, and they won, but now it's being
kind of fought.
And it's kind of hot for everybody, because in the place where I live is that people acknowledge that here, we have to, how would you say it? We acknowledge the land that we're on in Treaty Number 7 or Treaty Number 4, and going like, this is interesting. Why would they be saying that?
Okay.
Why would they be changing the names of streets and certain
like regional areas?
Districts?
Yeah.
Yeah, to a native language, right?
Okay.
Like, why would they do that? So I'm thinking right now it's part of a land grab. Now, I think how they're going to do it is they're going to use the native people to do this. And then once the government grabs the land, what they'll do is they'll assimilate the native people who are on treaty land, who have their own treaties, their treaty land, back into white men's society, and then get rid of it. That's what I think they're going to try to do. And it seems like they're trying to do this in places where there are parliaments. I think maybe you talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to do this in Australia, New Guinea, any place where those things were signed a long, long time ago.
So would you say that maybe, let me see if I've got your idea right, that they're going to take the land away from the homeowners that have purchased it. They're going to give it under treaty, but it's still going to be Canadian government property. But they're going to say, here, your peoples can live here. And then after a certain amount of time washes that from recent memory, then it will just turn back into Canadian property land.
Yeah, and it's a big land. It'll be a big land grab, right? And then I think that's what's holding up. I think that's what's holding up a lot of things right now that they want to do, is the native people who are on treaty land right now.
Okay.
And this thing in BC is really, a lot of people are questioning that right now, right? Because I think, why would you? If you're a homeowner there, would you be going, okay, well, how am I supposed to renew my mortgage now?
Right.
How am I supposed to do all these things when it's like up in the air?
Yeah.
I don't know how long is it going to take to get through the courts then?
Okay. Yeah.
So
it puts everyone in a very tough position.
Totally, I would agree. Yeah.
Now I have seen, of course, not living in Canada, just like I don't live in Oregon, so I don't understand exactly the mechanics at play there. But in the mechanics in Canada, a lot of what I see is shifting the public opinion away from personal citizen sovereignty in the way that you're not even supposed to be able to protect yourself anymore, or that's kind of the idea that I'm being given. Would you say that that's accurate? Is there more of a pacifistic mentality being pushed on the citizen, or is there still a strong, hey, this is, your life, you can protect it?
Well, I think what's happening now is that I think in almost any country, even your country, is that the rights are being
eroded.
Eroded
Yeah.
slowly. Okay, so we don't get spooked about the toad in the water thing. That's how I look at it right now.
Okay.
And you have to be aware that they're doing this like all around the world, and they're actually kind of doing experiments on it, like see what the public sentiment is about it, right? And then if it's working in some other countries, let's just try it here.
Yeah.
Or somewhere, right?
And I think that they shift the flavor of what they're going to do based on the trial runs that they do to similar cultures. And so not everything's going to work for Chicago. That's going to work for Florida. Not everything's going to work for the USA. That's going to work for Canada or Australia. And I think you're right. I think they do the testing grounds. And then when they find something they think will work to erode your particular set of rights, then they engage in that.
I agree with that, because I think what's happening right now in the law system right now, it's not becoming based on facts. It's based on like suspicion, like words of like general words, and how do you get a lawyer to defend that? Like how do you it's like how if it's just generalized nothing. I mean, where's the facts?
Yeah,
well,
right.
Well, I suspect you're doing something. Well, okay, where's the facts? Well, we got none. We just suspect.
Wow. So in Canada, what's your, you're our brothers and sisters up there. What is your idea on preparedness for your own groups or family in the next 12 months?
Oh, well, basically you got to choose which road you want to choose. Optimistic, realistic, or pessimistic.
Okay. I like realistic, but my brain shifts towards pessimistic.
Okay. So I'm going to be, I know me too. I think that's the reason why guys are wired that way. But I choose the middle road right now.
Okay.
And, basically I've been prepping since 2021.
Nice.
When COVID came out. And then I stopped for a little bit and picked it up again. I saw this stuff ahead of time, what's going on. So, I mean, you can save yourself lots and lots of money, but also you got to spread yourself in certain areas, because you don't have a lot of money for me, I didn't have a lot of money for everything, right? I'm just preparing myself in things that I've seen where it is could control, right? So I think I'm in good shape that way. Right now, I would say, the food thing is okay for myself, but just look at the financial stuff right now, because that's kind of bothering me. That could reset off some things, and also the possibility of war, which is highly predictable right now, because I think a while back we didn't have the war into it, being a factor of what could happen, right?
Yeah, right.
And it's almost like we're living something that we thought would never happen again. That was the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah.
And I think now it's like we got many Cuban Missile Crises right now, right?
Yeah, I think you're right.
And so you got to be really on your toes right now for what's going on. And just like what, your friend Nate, who basically is in a province just next to where I live, he's kind of closing his online store right now, and I watch him all the time too. And I watch your channel actually in the mornings or wherever I can, almost every day. I just listen to you. Yeah. It's lots of. I really enjoy the 10 minutes that you give, right? So, I feel that that gives me a heads up what's going on, because you do the doom scrolling for me, and I just like, okay, well, I can make my decision where I can proceed and what can I do, right? So,
nice. Yeah.
Where it's going.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much for calling in, and I hope that if I ever have to leave here, I'll be welcome up in Canada. I hope if you ever have to leave there, you'll be welcome down here in the States.
No problem. That'd be great. So.
Thank you so much.
Well,
I appreciate you.
Have a blessed night.
You
Take
too.
care.
Guys, this wraps up our Full Spectrum Survival live show with live viewer call-ins. This was great. I think it's really awesome that I get to hear your voices, see what's going on in your own areas. I think if nothing else, communication allows us to discuss and engage in things maybe we didn't know about or didn't know enough about. And it also allows us to maybe engage in ways that, if I thought things were going in one direction, but you're seeing it another direction, we can have a really good conversation about it, and we can kind of agree together or make our own decisions personally about which likely direction it's going that's going to affect you and me as individuals or family members or business owners or whatever it might be. So thank you guys for taking the time out of your night. It's Saturday night. You were part of Full Spectrum Survival's live call-in show. We really appreciate you and everything that you do for our family here. We are caught up finally in the move back and forth from helping family that was in hospice. We are finally caught up on our Patreon monthly survival card mailouts. So if you guys want to join up for December, it's patreon.com/full spectrum survival. What we do is I go out and I personally take the pictures. So I go take the pictures. We craft survival tips with every picture. I waterproof them, and we send out 5 survival cards and a personally written newsletter every single month that we try to put some survival tips, preparedness tips within. And we send that out to everybody at a flat rate. It's $10. I think it's a little bit more if you're a YouTube member rather than Patreon, because YouTube, like YouTube does, takes 30% of the entire process. We send it out at $10 if you're on Patreon, no matter whether you're in China or you're in Africa or you're here in the USA or in Canada. I soak that international cost. So thank you guys for all the support that you have given to me and my family. And if you'd like the survival cards, it's patreon.com/full spectrum survival. And thank you guys for everything that you do. German Shepherd, thanks for the color alert. Be safe, pray, prep, and train. Yeah, thank you so much for the support too. So you guys have a great night tonight, and we will catch you on the next live show. I really love these. So hopefully we will do them on a pretty frequent basis. From my family to you.